Hey, Paul, you know what's a game that needs to be talked about more?
No, what's that, mate?
Jones in the Fast Lane.
All right.
It's a game that people feel ways about.
Yes, it makes me feel feelings.
Are those good or bad feelings?
They are oddly, overly negative.
Well, good news. Guess what we're talking about today?
Jones in the Fast Lane, ain't it?
Jones in the Fast Lane. The Sierra game that only Sierra fans really know about. I don't know. This is actually a game that I have very fond memories of, mostly because it involves me playing that game instead of paying attention in class. Which really just means that it could have been any game, but it was good enough to distract me from class. It was at least better than high school.
Yeah, see, that's exactly where I come in as far as trying to defend it. Where it's like the best thing that you can say about it is that Jones in the Fast Lane, it's better than school. Great.
But I could at least pretend I was doing well in school in Jones in the Fast Lane. Because all you have to do is pay $50 to attend, and then I forget what exactly it was. It was like maybe a couple $100 because I guess tuition in the '90s was a couple $100, and all you have to do is attend class, and it just assumes that you're like doing awesome.
Yeah. Well,
and I carried that lesson through life. I'm just like, all I have to do is attend, and I'm doing awesome, and that's why I am where I am right now.
I've taken the stance that trying is the first step towards failure. No, I can tell you with the dollars for all these things change every gameplay, but the basic range of fee I can tell you because it whips me up is that it's about $45 for a college degree in, say, engineering.
So it's a fantasy game.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, but $45 for a college degree. But if you want to get some French fries, they're 57 quid, mate. So you got 57 fucking dollars for fries, but $45 for an entire college tuition. That's great. Yeah, it makes sense. Totally get it.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, like in this day and age, I think they're a bit ahead of its time because, like, in this day and age, it is like, my bar tab goes well above $50.
That's true, but that bar tab probably includes like, a couple of pints or whatever. We're talking just fucking French fries. 57 quid for French fries alone is mental. And then you throw in the fact that it's more money than an entire college degree. I mean,
I don't know about you. I got through university eating French fries. No, but granted, the French fries were not the expensive part of a university education. But I mean, like, I did spend a small fortune on French fries, or to be more specific, poutine, because I'm in Canada.
What's that? Is that when you put gravy on them?
Gravy and cheese curds, yes. So
I do like
slightly
cheese curds.
Would that be more nutritious or less nutritious than just straight French fries? How would you rate that? Is it, if it has more nutrition but is far worse for you, is that better or worse?
Oh, that's a really good comment. It's like a paradox, right? Because it's like you're adding more horrible things to it, but them things do have some nutrition to them. So I'll go with better on the nutritional side, but worse for your arteries.
Yeah, that makes logical sense.
Yeah, a little more clogging going on there.
Well, unfortunately, Monolith Burger does not serve poutine. So yeah, you're right. Maybe $50 is a little bit too much for French fries.
Well, the good news is that in this game, all you need to do is eat one thing of $50 fries for an entire week, and you're good to go.
Okay, so there you go. $50 for a week's worth of French fries.
Oh, that does make it make sense. It's just kind of odd. You go there, I guess there's doggy bags or whatever, so you take them home. But nobody likes reheating French fries. It don't work. So it's another sadistic quality of this game. Like here's the least reheatable food ever. French fries. Good luck. Put them in the microwave, they're soggy. Put them in the oven, and they're... Well, I don't know, because that's a lot of fucking effort, mate, to put them back in the oven.
You also did not have to eat French fries. There were options.
That's true. But the options were really expensive. Like the what was it called? Well, I'll just say burger, because I can't think of what I was trying to say. It was like $145. So it's like, that was like the cheapest way to get by. That was like you said, like the true university way of getting through it was to just get the cheapest thing on the menu and make it work.
Mhm.
So, basically in this game, like, enjoy your shitty, soggy microwave french fries for a week that cost 60 fucking quid. But, hey, good news is that you got through college for $45.
But it's interesting to think about because it is a very popular game and a lot of people like it, myself included. I do like it. It's not one of the games I'm clamoring to go back to. Granted, I mean, I wouldn't put it up in like the top 10 of Sierra games, but I don't know. It was fun. It was like lighthearted fun. It's kind of interesting that they took time management and turned it into something pretty entertaining. And it's just I don't know. They made a game out of scheduling. I don't know. I think there's something to say for that.
Yeah, that's complete boring bullshit. It's like you spend your time managing money and time management and all this. Where was the escapism? It was just completely mental. All right, I'll put it this way. Like you said, a good point that there was some realism with getting through. Getting on your feet, let's say, as is the case in the...
Let's not go so far as to call it realism. we're not really going into this for the realism. We're going to this for just as a fun little game. Like it's basically Sierra board game, the video game.
Yes, and that was cool to make it a board game that was a video game you could play with your friends and play against Jones. By the way, Jones is a total wanker. Oh my god, it's just narcissistic tendencies. I think he's a sociopath. I'm not sure. Not I don't have the accolades to diagnose him, but he shows signs of some sociopathy. And the other thing really gets me. I'm sorry, this is gonna be a series of rants, but like, why is it that every character in the game is human? Pixelated humans, and then Jones is like this wanky little cartoony knob. It like that just really throws me off. I don't like it. His nose looks like a big toe. Bothers me. Anyway, Jones is a dick, so that's established.
All right. I will concede just for like the sheer humor value that Jones in the Fast Lane is a total dick.
Conceding on the basis that Paul is oddly passionate about how much he hates Jones.
I want to hear more.
Well, all right. So tongue in cheek on the realism comment,
because this is like hating Mr. Pennybags. It's like I see where you're coming from, but it's kind of funny because it's like, granted, he's like Monopoly guy. You don't want monopolies. Monopolies suck, but it's like he's still just. How do you hate Mr. Pennybags? Actually, never mind. That's a very good reason to hate Mr. Pennybags, but sorry, I don't even know where I'm going with that anymore. I just want to hear your negative side.
Well, it's easy to hate him based on his attitude, the way he just looks at you through the screen, and the way he all right,
judging you all the time.
Yeah, watching, looking, judging, smile at the baby. I can't handle it. And he's always one step ahead. Maybe I hate him because I could never beat him. I'll give you that, even on easy. But like, he's always one step ahead. You show up wearing like a fucking barrel for for clothes, which we've all had those days. Oh, I can't find something to wear. I can't afford clothes. Let's wear a fucking keg barrel. All right. And Jones has got his nice little suit right off the bat. With his dapper little hairdo. Bitter because I ain't got none. True. But regardless, I'm going to step back to the getting through University of Fries. There is tongue-in-cheek realism, just a little bit. So hear me out. The moral of this game, which is right, bothers me, is that the moral of the game is too real. Because from my experience in playing through it a few times, is the only way I could win this game, even really on easy, is to set your happiness levels. For those who don't know, you can set levels for different things, whether it's happiness, I can't remember the rest, productivity, things like that.
You set your own goals for your life, so you got to choose how much wealth is important to you, how much, I think maybe health, education, career, and happiness. I might be wrong on some of those, but I believe that those are kind of like and I might be missing one or two as well. I don't remember. It's been literally since high school since I played this, but you could set what your goals are and to what degree. So there's like a sliding bar of how much wealth you need to accomplish, how much education you want to accomplish, how much happiness you want to accomplish, et cetera, et cetera.
No, and that sounds about right. Plus, I gave a wrong example, and then I'm so full of red mist for this game that I just said one thing and stuttered in anger. So I appreciate you giving everyone listening some substance on actually what happened. So that being said, now that the listeners who haven't played have an idea. So the basic way to win this game is to first of all, start on easy, and set your happiness level to 0. Then that's a great start. That's awesome. Super enthusiastic about playing now. Then you proceed to work way too hard, buy yourself nothing that you enjoy, and then after a really fucking long time, you'll succeed with like 5 years left of your life to enjoy it before you're in diapers again. And that's too real to me. That's like almost how the real world is. It's like, expect nothing, aka happiness level pretty much 0. Work way too hard, way too much. Sounds pretty real. And buy nothing that you really want for yourself, because that ain't happened since the mid-90s. And or at least 07 or whatever. And then you'll succeed, when you're like way too old to do anything with that success. Good stuff. Really love the moral of the whole game.
Now, one thing I do forget, because I don't think I've ever lost at this game, is what happens if you get too old? Like, do you actually die, or do you retire, or what happens if you go too long without accomplishing your goals?
In a very kind of uncharacteristic Sierra stance is that you really actually can't fail this game, because I think if you become broke, like it'll chime in and be like, a relative sent you $100 to get your shit together, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you really can't fail in this game, which is actually kind of nice.
Well,
like if you.
It depends on the mode, because there's one where you just sort of like it's sort of a freeform mode, and that's sort of the one where you can sort of crank all of your expectations up to max and just keep grinding at life until you eventually accomplish it. And again, I don't know what happens if you can fail that one, but there's also there's a competitive mode where you actually do go up against either other players or Jones himself, and you actually got to see which of you can accomplish your goals first. So in that case, you can actually lose if Jones accomplishes his goals before you do, and
when
vice
he
versa.
Does.
Yeah, and or if you accomplish your goals before he does. So I don't think I've ever played competitive, because I'm just so not competitive in life. So I think that's sort of like, and that kind of, I think that sort of shaped my adult life from then on, is sort of like, I'm going to live life on my own terms and not care about what other people are doing. And that's why I just don't really have much of a life at this point. But
Right.
so you can set happiness all the way to the top. You can set everything like maximum and just play until you eventually achieve that. I don't know if you can actually fail that one, but you can fail when you're competitive, obviously, because someone's got to win, someone's got to lose.
Yes, and see, you're helping my point, because you're like, I shaped my life on this game, which is, to just expect no happiness. Thanks, Jones in the fast lane. Right, bastards. You know who Jones is? Jones is that prick in class who reminded the teacher about homework at the end of the bell. That's Jones. 101. If you need, I could say nothing more and you get it. He's that guy. We're like, Mrs. Smith, didn't you forget to give them homework for tonight? I really like reading books. He's like, you right prick. Like, Jones, mate.
It's weird, because like I totally get where you're coming from. Like, don't get me wrong, I do think that there's when you apply certain amounts of real world logic to it, it doesn't really quite hold up to the bar. But at the same time, there was something that was just kind of fun about it. Like, you're probably the first person I've heard from that actually does not like the game, because it is just sort of like this light fun, just sort of kill time. Like I said, it's sort of more of a board game than anything else. It's not a quest. It's not Jones Quest or something like that. It's there's quite a few it's humorous. There's like obviously the Monolith Burger reference. I can't remember they reference other games in it as well, but they do have some kind of little funny Easter eggs and references in there. It's kind of very lighthearted. It is kind of, I don't know. I do think it is kind of escapism, because it does sort of let you play a life that maybe you don't necessarily yeah, you have the chance to live a life inside of 5 minutes and just kind of like be as successful as you want, or fail and learn from your mistakes, as opposed to going through the 80-year grind to find out if you did well or not. You know?
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. And I will say, I'll redact just a little bit and say I played it many times over because I think I like hating on it. So deep down inside, maybe there's something like an inner 9-year-old crying out that actually maybe likes it but won't admit it, which I won't. But I did play it multiple times, so I think I kind of like hating on it. Yeah, I don't know. Jones to me, like the 3 worst people in history. Number one Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Number 2 Keith from Police Quest 2. Number 3 fucking Jones. That's take it to the bank. That's the 3 worst people in the world.
Number 4 is Genghis Khan.
Yeah, all them lot falling. Well, a distant fourth.
Yeah,
at that.
Pol Pot. Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, 2 and 3 are definitely Keith and Jones.
Yeah, Keith is a close second to Hitler too, and I'm Jewish.
Please establish that. Please make sure that you're establishing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
super Jewish, so very Jewy, very Jewy. Grandfather's in the Holocaust. Actually, I'm actually quite bad with finances, but regardless, if I'm going to a car dealership and the salesman is also Jewish, I'll be like, hey, don't try and us me down on this, mate.
So is that why you don't? Sorry, I probably shouldn't even say this. But I was like, is that why you don't like Jones of the Fast Lane? You can't haggle them down to any reasonable prices.
I'm so glad you did, and yes, it's exactly why.
I kind of don't want to post that now, but
no, please do. It's the absolute truth, and a bona fide Jew. We can't lose comedy in this era. I know it's wrong to say pretty much anything nowadays. So I'm giving the nod. That's legitimate and frankly dead accurate.
and not what I think at all. Just so you all understand this.
I'm basically mad because I couldn't us them down on them French fries prices.
I say things to get a laugh that I don't actually believe.
Right, yeah, same here. So it's comedy comes before everything, and then facts and feelings and things like that. I'm trying to keep comedy alive, people. All right? You're welcome. Damn it.
Anyways, moving on.
So another thing I hate about a game
yes, let's please move on from the racism, and let's get back to the game.
But you got a permit for it, though. That was sanctioned. I
still feel bad.
Give you a golden ticket. This is good for one racism. It's not even. We're just having fun with stereotypes.
It's true. It is true.
Anyway, another thing I hate about a game is that each weekend the game takes control over the game over you, and which I guess it has a right to do, and it tells you what you've done that weekend. So 2 examples. One of them is they'll be like, oh, this weekend you sat on your ass and you ate sugar frosted cereal. It cost you $10. And it's like, what the fuck, mate? Like, it's really hard to make money in this game. So $10 is a quarter of a college degree. So
but
I spent.
To be honest, they're not wrong either. That is kind of how I spend my weekends.
Yeah, no, that's also true. You're right. Yeah, and that goes back to my overrealism, making life really depressing. But again, you're spending a quarter of a college degree on sugar pops. That's mental. And then another example that happened to me when I was playing was you spent the weekend playing solitaire. It cost you $9. How does it cost money to play solitaire? I mean, if you're playing it on a computer, it comes free with the software, especially in the day. And if you're playing it with a deck of cards, I mean, do people even buy cards? I think they just like show up in people's houses. You don't really purchase them; they just kind of arrive one day. They're just there. And if you did, it's like £2. It ain't nothing. So to be like, you spent $9 again, basically a quarter of a college degree playing solitaire. It's mental. How can I succeed in a world like that? And then I go to work wearing a barrel.
If they're like $2 a pack and I play 4 games of solitaire, there you go. I made $8 already.
You ain't need a new pack for each round, though.
I do. You got to start with a fresh deck every time. That's how I play. But no, I mean, like I never do like the actual wise thing and go to the dollar store and buy like a dollar pack of cards. Always go like buy the bicycle, like the really nice ones, and like they're about $8 each or something like that. I don't know.
Ooh, they do have a nice texture, them bicycle ones, though. All satiny. Anyway, now I'm defending a part of the game. No, I redact that. Because that'll pop up a few times in the game. Like, that could happen 3 times. Like, all 3 times. $9 for solitaire, $9 for solitaire, $10 for cereal. Like, I spent 1 month, I spent a college degree in cereal and solitaire. Fuck off. I'm not buying it. I don't like the whole mentality behind the whole thing. And meanwhile, Jones is like 5 steps ahead. He's already got like 6 degrees for whatever reason. And did I mention there's this really creepy landlord you got to deal with that's always making passes on you?
I do not recall that part.
Yeah,
I think I'm so unattractive in real life that even the game that's programmed to hit on me like does not. They're like, no, not that guy.
Oh God! Don't make me feel empathy for you. Jeez.
So at least Jones is a looker.
Yeah. So anyway, luckily, is a female. She's got like these, magnifying glasses, magnifying thickness glasses. That whole sentence was fucked to begin with, or whatever. Anyway, at least it's a female. Being a male or whatever, so I can appreciate that. But still, it's creepy when she's like, "Thank you for your payments." And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was really seductive for a landlord, and there's no way in the game to like use that to your advantage. Like,
was there a voice pack in the game? Like, did they actually have voice acting?
They did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did.
See, like I said, I was playing it during school, so I always had the sound off. I was not aware that there was actual voice acting, so I just sort of like, I that's probably why I don't remember it. It was probably just like the landlord saying, "Oh, thanks for your payment."
See, and that's the overall theme of this episode. Jones in the Fast Lane. It's better than school. It's just, ugh. So anyway, those are just the tip of the iceberg of what just with that game. Don't like it. Don't like it. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because again, this is diving back to quite a long time ago. I think. I played that probably in my mid-teens, so more time has passed between then and now compared to then and when I was born. That's over half my life ago since the last time I played it. But I did play it a lot in high school, and this is one of those things where it is going back to a time when games were not really that available. So even like the little shareware games that you only get like the first chapter of something with limited features was super fun because that's like the game that you got to play. So I think it's just sort of, admittedly, I think there is sort of that, well, I didn't really have a lot else to play at that time. So there was this, and it was good enough to play and not just like not play. Like, there are games that even if you have no other options, you'd rather just go and play something else instead of that. But Jones, it was enough for me to sort of like, kill some time to sort of like, oh, see how I do at life this time. And see if I succeed or starve. But there was just something there. I don't know. There was something charming about it. I gotta say, like you can defy. It can defy logic, and you can point out all the ways that it defies logic, and but there was something that just was charming about it. It was sort of kind of just fun to go through life in this like kind of whimsical world.
Yeah, it's brutal. But whimsical world where
it's a Sierra game. It's a brutal whimsical world.
Actually, that's a really, really good point. You win that. Actually, I got nothing to say. That was brilliant. But a comment before that, you made a perfect sales pitch for Jones, where it's like Jones is a great game when you have no other games to play.
Yeah.
Like, all right. If it's the only game you got, it's decent for sure. I will say that Ken Allen did a mint job with the soundtrack. It definitely captured that kind of, like you said, that whimsical, nowadays would say nostalgic, but it captured a fun, light-hearted spirit about it. So I like the music to it. I'll give it that. And I like the awkward salmon-colored box it came in. That was kind of cool too.
But I mean, like, granted, I mean, I totally get that. My argument is that it was a playable game given limited options. I will also say though, not to be too harsh on it, because I don't want to be harsh on it. I'm kind of in favor of it. Yeah, it's not like it's the only option I ever had to play at that time, but yeah, it was a good little something fresh to sort of break things up because this was at the same time when we did have it was in the computer lab, doing computer science, and I was instead focusing on playing Jones in the Fast Lane because I was sort of one of those people who was already doing so well in the class. I didn't really need to pay attention to everything. So I could have been playing Doom 2, and I did quite a bit. And, but every now and then it's sort of like there was. I remember like these are like the big four games of the computer lab. And playing Doom 2, playing what was the other one? It was Doom 2. It was Jones in the Fast Lane. It was Stunts and 4D Boxing. And those are all great games. Like, those are good games to be stacked up against for me to choose to say, hey, you know what? Today's a Jones in the Fast Lane kind of day. Because I'm bypassing Doom 2, 4D Boxing, and Stunts. Those are fantastic games. If you say otherwise, you are wrong.
Yeah, no, I won't. I'm already shitting on beloved, games of the past, so I'll stop at Jones. But they were.
Yes. And again, I'm not saying that Jones compares to those games. I would never say that. So, I'm not defending Jones as being like one of the, it's not one of my top 10. It's not one of my top 20, but it was a fun game. It was fun to break things up. I don't always need to be killing demons. I don't always need to be punching someone in the face. I don't always need to be crashing cars. And every now and then I'd just be like, you know what? Today I want something a little bit different. And, Jones is pretty different. And there's not many games that are out there like that, except, board game adaptations. It's like really the only thing I can really come up with that's comparable to Jones of the Fast Lane is like a board game.
Yeah. I think,
and like the family style board games of that time, not like the board games that we have these days, where they are pretty much like computer games, like AAA computer games adapted into a tabletop format. Everything's like part RPG these days, kind of thing.
No, it kind of reminded me of like Life, or the game of Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. And no, you're right. I mean, I'm having fun shitting on it, but it was refreshing. It was, at the time I was probably playing, everything Sierra, everything LucasArts, and then a little bit of like Wolfenstein or whatever.
Yes.
So it was a nice break when it's like you said, I don't want to shoot people today. I don't want to get, I don't want to think too much on puzzles and things like that. So I'll play Jones, and that's why I did play it a lot. So I'm having fun shitting on it, but it wasn't that bad of a game. It's definitely in my top 142.
It's in my top 500 games of all time.
Yes, and I've only played 300.
But again, I get what you mean too. I totally think that there is a lot to make fun of it. It's fun to make fun of it and those things. Like we said that, we said in the Police Quest episode, it's like, well, yeah, fans of Police Quest make fun of Police Quest. We just hate it when people who aren't fans make fun of Police Quest, right?
Yes.
So it's like, there are things that, because I did enjoy Jones, I can still laugh at, like I've rarely disagreed with anything that you've said. At least I don't remember myself disagreeing. I may be given like some witty counterpoints, witty in quotation marks. I think it's witty. I don't know. I probably not, but
no, I concur.
But it's I'll defend it, but at the same time, it's like, no, you have valid points. They're the economy of Jones in the Fast Lane was probably not well researched.
Except for the moral of the game, which is don't be happy and just work all the time and buy nothing. That's way too real. Thank you.
Life is a competition with others.
but yeah, to your point too, and to people listening that really like it, might be even getting upset me shitting on it. I sort of like the game. I mean, I'll put it this way. There's a lot of games that I did not like and never went back to, whereas Jones, I went back and replayed it many, many times. So I mean, like I said, I think I just like shitting on it because it's kind of fun. That being said, since that sounded a little positive, I will say that if it was a physical board game, it would be the first time in my life I've flipped a fucking table over. If that little Jones prick beat me one more time, I'm glad it was stuck in the screen, because I don't want to break my computer, but I definitely flipped that game over like a bad loser Monopoly, for sure.
I wonder if anyone has ever tried to remake that game, because a lot of Sierra games get revisited and remade by fans. I wonder if anyone's tried to do that with Jones.
It'd be cool to kind of see Jones as a physical board game.
Yeah?
So I could flip the table over on someone.
Is that one that you picked when we were talking about adapting things?
Yes.
It was. Yes, I thought
No,
so.
no, it wasn't.
No, it
I
wasn't.
think I done a lie. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Okay.
I was caught up in the moment. There was high energy. I was excited.
I feel like we've talked about this to like a slight degree in the past, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, no, me too. Got a bad memory. My memory's so bad I can't remember when I do wheeze, and sometimes I get a stomach ache, and then I'm like, oh, I just had to pee. It wasn't a stomach ache. So my memory's absolutely horrible. But we
Yeah.
probably did.
We might have mentioned it in the past, but anyways, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I do think that you have valid points. I'm not going to tell you that you have to like the game or anything like that. But I don't know. I think that there is something to kind of think about as to what it is that everyone really enjoyed about it. Because again, you're not wrong, but at the same time, most people are quite positive on the game. Most people have like good memories and think fondly on it and had fun playing it, and I did too. Granted, like I said, it's been since my mid-teens that I've played this game. I've never really had the hankering to go back, but when I played it, I have good memories. It reminds me of high school, and things reminding me of high school is not usually said in a positive way.
Yeah, I was second to that. And you know what? You're not wrong either. It's true. You're not. You brought up a lot of good points. It was refreshing. It was totally unique. I mean, it's really stands completely on its own. I can't think of any, especially at least in that era, games that were anywhere near that game. It had awesome replayability. It was really cool that you could play with other friends, play against yourself, kind of like playing the course or racing the track sort of idea, or you could play against that bastard Jones. So it was kind of cool that you did have. I still got that kind of passion behind the word when I say it. You can hear that I really hate him. I think it just comes down to the fact that he always beat me and I was bad at the game. I think that's really
Right.
just my issue.
All right,
It's
so
just,
so taking everything that we discussed here and sort of like taking it and absorbing it and digesting it, give us your final word on Jones in the Fast Lane.
Jones is a wanker. I kind of hate the game, but I also kind of like the abuse of it, so that's why I kept going back. So it's a great game to hate, and
There you go. See you next week.